Alright, real talk. As a full-time content creator, I'm always looking for some ways to speed up my workflow without losing that creative touch. And keyboard shortcuts have been my go-to for many years, and I think some of you might even use them as well. But honestly, they're not perfect, especially when your fingers starts looking like they're doing some parkour across the keyboard. So I started trying out something a little bit different, and nope, it is not a panel that sits at my desk or on my desk and takes up the whole space. Okay, it is this little guy here, the TourBox Elite Plus. And let me tell you, it completely changed the way I work in DaVinci Resolve. Before we dive in, quick heads up, this video is sponsored by TourBox. But, and this is super important, everything I'm about to say is 100% my honest opinion. Nobody handed me a script and nobody told me what to say. I'm sharing what I truly think after using it for some time for some personal projects and client work. And yeah, of course, there are a few downsides as well. I'll cover those at the end of the video, so stick around. Before I got my hands on this, my pain point was very simple. When I'm deep into color grading or editing a YouTube video, for example, the last thing that I want is to break my flow because I'm smashing 10 different shortcuts on my keyboard. I would constantly bounce between tools, tabs and node trees, and every second lost there adds up when you're juggling tight deadlines or I'm working on my personal projects. TourBox basically puts all those essential tools right at your fingertips, literally. And I can also combine buttons for more short keys. It's that next level intuitive, it's like having Jedi powers. And it's not just about mapping shortcuts, TourBox actually developed functions that normal keyboards can't even touch. Like there's hover adjust, which lets you tweak your colors just by hovering and turning a knob. It's kind of like using telekinesis power with a scroll wheel. Or for example, timeline control plus, hands down the easiest way to fly through your project timeline without even touching the mouse. Basically, I now time travel across my whole timeline. It all adds up to smoother and faster workflow, especially for color grading where precision matters so much. And hey, I have to tell you, this little fella has such a cool design. It kicks me right back to my Nintendo 64 times. I was playing all day, every day Zelda Ocarina of Time. Every button has a different texture or shape, so after a couple of days you're using it without even looking. So honestly, within a week it felt pretty natural, just like playing Zelda. And another killer feature, auto switching. When I bounce from Lightroom to DaVinci, TourBox automatically shifts profiles. I know it's a small thing, but when you're editing all day every day, those little moments matter. And now here comes the feature that blows my mind. It lets you add macros, so you can automate mouse movement and add mouse clicks, so you basically don't even need a mouse anymore. And since DaVinci Resolve has no actual shortcut for adding your power grade, I'll simply add macros, so once I open up my color page, I can just click on the button I assigned the macro to and it will fly through my screen, clicking and opening all the windows so my power grade gets applied. I can pretty much just sit back and grab a sip of my coffee. And if you're into color grading like I am, then this is where TourBox really flexes. Remember I told you about hover adjust? Watch out. It's not just only the color wheels, but all the other sliders and parameters as well. So as soon as I'm hovering over, let's say the tint or contrast, this box appears, which tells me now I can turn my knob and it precisely adds or pulls out contrast. It lets me color grade so fast and so precise, I can do more client work, get more money, or I'm gonna spend that time working on my personal projects, which is so important to me. It feels way more tactile and precise than dragging sliders with my mouse. Now, some people compare TourBox to those cheap shortcut keypads online. But honestly, that's like comparing a full-frame camera to a smartphone. This isn't just a shortcut box. It's a professional editing console made for creatives. And when you think about the hours this thing here saves, especially when you're making a living with your content like I do, this thing is a no-brainer investment. You don't have to sell a kidney for it, just maybe skip a few of those overpriced coffees. And they have different models at different price points depending on what you need. And for those working on a Mac, which I do too, TourBox got you covered. Just bring this little fella with you, connect it via Bluetooth and start working. But but they still have to make some adjustments here and there. For example, it is still struggling to detect some color wheels for hover adjust. But that's the only issue I ran into while testing out the beta version. If you're using separate monitors, make sure your editing software is on your main monitor, otherwise it will have some recognition issues. So yeah, in my opinion, you can use it straight away. Okay, now all good things aside, you know I'm an honest person, so I'm gonna tell you this thing is not perfect. TourBox has a bit of a learning curve, especially at the beginning. You've got all these dials, wheels, buttons, and at first it's easy to get overwhelmed or hit the wrong thing. It's like aliens are visiting you and they're telling you, hey, watch this tutorial for one time and then you can fly my spaceship. Also, the software is super powerful, but it can feel a little intimidating when you first open it up. There is a lot of depth in the software, which is amazing, but it's not exactly plug and play like Nintendo 64. And yeah, as I told you, it's not the cheapest gadget out here, but if you're doing it for full-time or part-time content creation and you're some sort of making a living out of it, the time it saves you pays it off either way. If you have any questions now or you just want to geek out about some gear, hit me up in the comments. I'm always happy to chat. And if you want to check out more about the TourBox Elite Plus or other products, I'm gonna leave the link to their website down below. Alright, that's it for today. I'm going back to my grind and I hope you too. Promise me you will chase your freaking dreams, aight? Okay? Perfect. I'll catch you up in the next one.